Welcome in, everybody, to race number 5 of Season 1 of the PGR Lite Series. Landon Veleke here once again to call all the action alongside Matthew Baker doing race control and up here in the booth with us once again. We're going to go ahead and quickly go through your grid right here because this is a very stacked field here tonight. Lots of cars coming out. I think it's the most we've had all season so far. We'll go ahead and start the grid right here. Dalton Steele for R&R on the pole for tonight's race. Austin Green will start in second. Sean Corbett third. Dawson Wise in fourth. Hunter Hastings in fifth. Joshua McCullough sixth. Kenny Reel in seventh. Brian Hennings in eighth. Wyatt Gray in ninth. And Stephen Miles in 10th.
Dave Flanagan going to be rolling off in 11th. Chris Blanchard, look for him to get another good run tonight in 12th. Christopher Melton, 13th for R&R. Casey Sprinkle in 14th. Heath Job, 15th for Hyper Motorsports. Series owner Michael Troscaro in 16th. Going to look to try and bounce back after that missed shift last week. Ron Morris Jr., he's in 17th. Nick Simple, 18th. 19th, Tyler Vickery. And 20th, Evan Carbone.
Freddie Baznez will start 21st tonight. He was last week's winner. Tyler Morgan, a new name to the series, in 22nd. John Darnell III in 23rd starting position. Chase Mastretta for Nightmare Esports in 24th. 25th will be Brock Westmoreland for PGR. Connor Cunningham in 26th. Michael Menchaca 27th. Jeff Scott 28th. Jared Haynes for the Jack Shack in 29th. And James Wagner in 30th.
31st, got Sean Helkowitz, Nazi Major, 32nd. Raymond Hanneman in 33rd, looking to make his moves up to the field. James Waring, 34th. Cole Fitzpatrick was out early in Daytona last week. He was running really well, just got taken out towards the middle of the race. He'll be rolling off 35th, 36th. Justin Hewlings, Quentin Steinbach at 37th. Teresa Spiker, 38th. Jonathan Herbert in 39th. Greg Spiker in 40th. 41st, you got Tucker McClendon. David Sheets in 42nd. Everett Fielder, Joey Galati, Ambrose Knebel, Dion Monte, and Mark Fondell round out the 47-car field.
That is your grid tonight. Like we said, it's a big one here tonight, but it's the same cars that we ran last week, the next gens once again, except this time it's not Daytona, it's at Talladega. And there's a little bit of a lighter fuel load this week, excuse me. Last week we had 55% of the tank. This week we got 50. Everything else stays the same. Lap count, 3 tire sets, no fast repair, fixed setups, 3 attempts at an overtime in this one here tonight. Well, last week it was a very fun one to watch with a crazy finish for sure. And this week we expect more of the same. It's a big field. We got 47 cars out here. So it's going to be pretty congested, but it's going to be an action-packed race just like last week was. At least that's the hope. I don't know what your thoughts are on any of this, Baker, but race controlling a next-gen race is definitely not a task that anyone wants to be doing, and that is what our good friend Matthew Baker has the privilege of doing once again here tonight. So what are your thoughts going into this one?
You got some players that weren't here last week that are back this week. You got Ron Morris Jr., who's going to be back. Dawson Weiss going to do well tonight for sure. Austin Green's going to look to bounce back after that last lap shenanigans he got involved with. In Talladega, and these cars, they've been putting on a good show. 47 cars is going to be a tough task for us to stay green for a little bit. Let's see if we can get it done here tonight. There's a couple dark horses that I'm looking at to try and win this, or a first-time winner. I think Chase Mastretta, not so much a dark horse, but he's very good in these cars. Missed last week in the next gen, so I know he's kicking himself for missing last week, but he's going to be a threat towards the front once he gets there.
He absolutely will be. He is very underrated just when it comes to general. A lot of people don't like him because of his mouth. I think everyone in the community knows he has a lot to say most of the time, but when he locks in, and he is a threat to win whatever race that he has at hand. Well, we're coming to the green flag right here, another 50-lap race right here in the next-gen cars. Dalton Steele, Austin Green, Sean Corbett, and Dawson Wise are going to lead them all to the green flag right here. Lap number 1 is about to be underway, and there it is. The green flag is out here at Talladega. was a pretty nice start with lots of shuffling going around at the back of the field right now. Austin Green's taking the lead with a push from Dawson Wise. Josh McCullough and Brian Hennings are in tow. They've about a 5-car breakaway right now with Stephen Miles. Dalton Steele's still trying to make something happen down there on the bottom, but not to any avail right now. He's got Sean Corbett trying to push him. Just going to be kind of a tough task right here for that bottom line, especially when Kenny Reel decides to split 3 wide as he just did with Wyatt Gray right there.
Yeah, Ron Marsh Jr. looks like he had some internet issues. He dropped all the way to the back. But this 47-car field looking good right now. There is sort of a separate little 5-car pack not able to... wrecking towards the middle of the field.
Yellow flag already, lap number 3. Well, we're still wrecking right here. There's Justin Hewlings going around right there in the back. Go ahead and take a quick look at what just happened right here.
Looks like a stack up here on the outside lane.
Not entirely sure who this one involved, but we're going to try and find it real quick. Just 3 laps into the race, you know, you hate to see that. Go all the way back and... Okay, so there it is. That looks like Jeff Scott right there on the outside line, already in the wall in this one. We got to go find him once again. There are so many cars in this race, it's hard for me to pick them out in this field, but we'll probably just have to stick with this view and work with what we've got. So he's already in the wall. This one is focused on Monazi Major, but if we look just ahead, where Jared Haynes in the 7, Jeff Scott in that green and black number 38. Yeah, like you said, there's a stack up right there. Haynes hooks Scott into the wall right there, and then Haynes is going to get turned by Wagner, who is Jeff Scott's teammate. They're going to come down the track a little bit. Wagner's going to correct it back up into Haynes and slam him into the wall right there, with Waring involved, it looks like, and a couple others taken out in this one. We'll back this up one more time.
Oh, it looks like Mastretta may have had some internet issues or something. He manually disconnected, so he meant to disconnect there.
Yeah, Chase usually does have a problem with blinking issues in internet, and who knows, he's in Colorado, might be a snowstorm or something going on. Here's an over-the-top view, and just like Baker said, just a classic stack-up. That's what happens in these cars because the runs are so massive, and a lot of people, if you're not right there, like on task, paying attention to what's in front of you, it's very easy to get caught up when the checkup gets back to you. And that's, I mean, just cut and dry incident right here between Haynes and Scott and Wagner. You do hate to see it, that's for sure, but it's just just comes with the nature of these cars. There's really not much more else to say about it.
Yeah, you just have to be wary of the stack-ups that happen, and Haynes, I mean, he does everything he can to stay out of the back of him, but it's just a misaligned trying to stay off of him, and around he went. Chase out in the YouTube chat says he's so done. I don't know what happened to him. His car looked fine, and it just looked like he disconnected.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Chase right there. I just saw that chat as well. Hopefully he's going to get back into the race and come out here and compete, unless it was just, who knows? Probably a technical issue. It didn't look like he was involved in a crash right there, at least nothing
he was completely in front of it.
Oh, timeout. Hold on. I'm seeing some data coming through right here. Wait a minute. This is Chase Mastretta. This looks like this was after the caution flag.
Oh, no!
He's on what appears to be the back stretch. And he comes to a stop.
Sounds like he downshifted and blew up.
Wow. Okay, so we did not hear that on the audio. Let's back it up and take it on board.
Smoke roll out right here.
Yep, you can see it. Let's go ahead and go on board with Mastretta. Yeah, the engine's already dead at this point. I will say this very quickly. He did just purchase a new wheel. It was one of the Moza, forgive me for not being up to date with professional racing sim wheels, but it was a new Moza, kind of like an F1 style wheel. I'm not sure if just the different field had something to do with that or what happened right there, but that is extremely unfortunate. For Chase Mastretta, who was out early in this race with a money shift, kind of shades of what Michael Triscaro did last week, Baker, as we all recall that, but that was on a restart towards the end of the race. And these cars are a little bit different. They have 5 gears. It's a sequential shift. It's not your normal H pattern for those that use that or anything else. If you use an anti-stall clutch, it's a little bit different. You'd have to experience it to really know what I'm talking about, because I have to do it personally. It's a little bit different with the clutch and the way all that operates. Sometimes it can be easy for it to just slip a gear here and there, but unfortunate for Chase. But we're back at the front here. It's Austin Green and Dawson Wise still up front right here with Josh McCullough, Hennings, and Sean Corbett rounding out the top 5. So not much changed up front here, Baker, but a very quick yellow on lap 3 because of a stack up in the back of the pack. These guys definitely don't want to see that. They want to be up here. They want to keep racing, but they are, for the most part, protected from the checkups because they're at the front. It's the people in the back that are trying to force their way forward, as they should be. It's racing after all, but they can fall victim to massive checkups like that.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's just the nature of the beast of this car. Looks like Triscaro went in, topped off on some fuel there. But up front, it's going to be basically the same people that have been up front all season. Hennings, Green, Wise when he's here, and McCullough, two former race winners, and one that's looking for that first race win. And Corbett, another one that impresses. He's been impressing a lot through this season. It just the finishes haven't shown for it, but he's always up front.
That is true. Sean Corbett is, like we mentioned at one point, he picked up his qualifying pace, gotten really good at that. He didn't get the pole tonight, but it's still a very solid starting position. When he's here, he's just consistent. And he's definitely someone to watch out for in these races. But he's going to be third on the bottom line right here. He's probably going to fall back, and it's going to be a little tough for him to find his way up to the top. But Austin Green and Dawson Wise lead him into the restart box. It's an early jump for Austin Green. He's going to try and pull Josh McCullough with him. Look for them to try and take the high side as Josh McCullough chops Dawson Wise's nose off right there going into 1. Oh, Kenny Reels into the wall. Brian Hennings looks like a little bit of a disagreement in track position right there. Hennings wanted to go up, and Reel didn't want to give it to him, and he ended up in the wall. See Wyatt Gray with a move down to the bottom. He's going to be third on that bottom line. There's a little bit of a breakaway on the top with 5 cars, Reel being the last of those as a result of the little contact between him and Hennings right there. Kenny Reel's teammate, Dave Flanagan, is going to come to the rescue, get behind Kenny Reel, look for them to try and make some sort of move together as they are teammates. They're always going to be trying to strategize and figure something out. The outside line comes down here to side draft. Now Sean Corbett, how about that? We were just talking about him. That can be a good thing or a bad thing like it was last week, but here he is. He's leading the bottom line.
He's got Stephen Miles pushing him behind Kenny Reel, trying to look to the outside of Brian Hennings. The thing about Talladega, the difference between Daytona, it's really hard to control the top, and you're going to see 4 lanes of action the entire time. Brian Hennings, he gets stuck in the sucker hole. Kenny Reel left him out to dry. Oof. Man, Brian Hennings gets all out of shape there, but is able to get back in line. Top starting to roll here, getting a big push from Josh McCullough.
Now look at Brock Westmoreland trying to take it to the middle, but there's not really any help there with Minazzi Major. Oh, he's going to do it again. He picks up a little draft from the outside, and he's going to go back to the middle with the help of Minazzi Major, but they are not linked up. Oh, look at this move. Dawson Wise just got split out, it looks like, at the front by his own teammates, potentially. That's what that looked like. Kenny Reel and David Flanagan just went there. Oh, Josh McCullough. Whoa, lots of shuffling around going on right here, Baker.
A lot of shuffling around. It's quick action to call, a lot different than what we're used to with the trucks and Xfinity, so it's going to be high-flying action this entire race, especially at Talladega with how wide you have to be. Corbett, though, holding the bottom really well, getting a great push on the bottom side. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars on the... Oh! Brock Westmoreland all out of shape there in the middle line. He's able to keep it together, but the top side starting to roll. Oh, man, bottom gets all out of shape. Austin Green, one of the best pushers. He's going to give a great shove to Stephen Miles here in the lead.
All that disorganization on the top line allowed Sean Corbett and Wyatt Gray to get a look at moving up to the top, but they decided to stay on the bottom. But the downside of that is now Miles is getting pushed by Green all the way to the lead, and they're not side drafting right now. Corbett should honestly take that and move up the track right here, but he's sticking with Wyatt Gray. He's going to trust him, as now it's just side by side between Miles and Corbett trying to battle for the lead. Now look at that move down to the bottom. Everyone like a, what is it, like, I don't know, like a zigzag coming back down, trying to side draft right there. They did it right pretty well, but now that's created an opportunity for that middle lane. Oh, there's so much going on, Baker. I can't even keep up with it.
Well, the thing is they're trying to keep up with it as well in the track, and the problem is you just can't control the way you can at Daytona. It's not the same in this car. You have to be able to give and take and let these cars go back and forth. Let some people take the lead. Just ride. You have to ride. Steve Miles showing that's what you're supposed to do. It goes down to the bottom. Lets Austin Green gets his temp, so he'll come back up on exit. Oh no, he doesn't though. He stays to the bottom. He's gonna get shuffled out of line. Josh McCullough went to hop up to the third lane, but there's no support on the top. The bottom side really working well here with these cars. It's going to be a stack towards the triangle in that center part where all that three wide action is going on. That's where I keep my camera at.
Oh, yeah, there is so much just going on. You can't even explain it. Wyatt Gray, a big move down to the bottom, ditches Austin Green. He's going to trust Steven Miles to try and get him clear back up in front of Austin. But in the back right there, we saw almost some contact with Evan Carlbon and Brock Westmoreland, it looked like, through the tri-oval. Just the checkups, just simple case of that again. People trying to keep up with this very fast-paced, but also that can bite you because you're on go, go, go mode, and then all of a sudden they just stop in front of you, and then it's just like that. It's a weird kind of momentum sort of racing that we have here. 4-car breakaway at the bottom between Wyatt Gray, Steven Miles, Sean Corbin, and Chris Blanchard, but here comes the outside with Josh McCullough and Freddie Baznez coming to take lap 11.
3 wide all the way through the tri-oval we go. Kenny Reel giving a big push to Austin Green. Here goes Wyatt Gray. Oh,
wow!
In the top side, Josh McCullough, he's going to get on the nose of him, trying to protect that outside. Stays off the backstretch. It sounds like there's wrecking. I'm going to throw the caution here.
Well, all of a sudden a yellow flag comes out. We definitely didn't see anything up front. What a move by Wyatt Gray from top to bottom to top. All the way from the yellow up to the wall. That was wild move from him, and it worked out for him. I think he's going to be P2 right here, but let's take a look, see if we can, and see what happened to bring out the yellow flag right here. Maybe Baker can give some insight into what caused this one. This is Jonathan Herbert. Let's see. Let's just watch the back of the pack for now. Check up on the bottom. We see Steinbach and Vickery up top. They're doing fine. Yellow flag's already out at this point, so it had to be further back. Yeah, I'm kind of lost on this one, Baker. Are you seeing anything here?
Yeah, it looks like Ambrose got turned towards the back.
All right, let's go find Ambrose Knable. If we can. He might be so far back that's not even going to pick up his car, and that is exactly what the case is. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see that instant for Ambrose Knable. Hopefully it wasn't anything too major. I doubt it was if it was just a simple spin from Ambrose right here. But yeah, okay. Sadly, we're not going to be able to pick that one up on the racetrack. We'll just go ahead and take it back live with Austin Green and Kenny Reel. Steven Miles are the top 3. They're going to be coming in for pit stops right here. Trying to pack their car as full of fuel as they possibly can get it. As they all come down pit road here, nobody wants to stay out. A clean entry as you would hope it would be under caution. We see Jeff Scott down there in the Wagner's Welding Green and Black 38. Was involved in the first caution of this race. It seems that he is still in pits getting repairs tonight. I will just go ahead and apologize like I did for last week when you have a field this size. I have made all the settings correct as what they should be to where people don't blink out for no reason, but it's still causing a problem. I even tried something else after last week's race and it's still not working. So hopefully we can get this sorted for you next week and not have to deal with this anymore, because it's kind of upsetting when we can't find the wreck and y'all can't see it at home. But at least it sounds like we didn't really miss much right there on that one. It was just a simple spin by Ambrose Knable. Brought the yellow flag out. Austin Green, Miles, and Wyatt Gray are still going to be at the front of this race. So while we are still under caution, we'll be taking the one to go next time by. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a quick interview with somebody early on in this race. I know who we're going to get a word with. We are going to go back to Dawson Wise. I think he'll be a good one to talk to. I was talking to him prior to the race. Dawson Wise, it is Landon Baker in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, yeah, I got you guys.
So you kind of got a little bit shuffled out, what appeared to me, at least, by your own teammates earlier, and that could be a little bit of a sticky situation unless I saw that wrong. What were your thoughts? 13 laps in, 2 cautions down. You're still up here. You're in a solid position, 13th place, but I know you want more. What are you thinking so far?
I mean, that's a tough deal. Obviously, we had a bunch of guys lined up, and I think that was the move that we wanted to make, was to go middle, and that's what I was thinking of. But it got made before I could react. It is what it is. But long race, I'm still close to the front. I'm still, still a long way to go. So I'm confident in these cars. I love these cars. So I'm gonna try to hook up with a couple teammates here, or a couple guys around me. Freddie is really good in this car, and a couple other guys behind me. So I'm gonna try to make my way back up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, down in 13th, but you still have a long way to go in this one. Baker, you have anything for Dawson Wise?
Oh, I don't have anything for Dawson, but let me tell you, I'm going to have something for Veleke and Kenny Real. I just got word that Veleke Ray was in Kenny Real's car, so we don't allow that around here, and Kenny got disqualified.
Wow. Okay, so that is some breaking news right there. I thank you, Dawson Wise, for coming in and speaking to us in the booth. Wow,
Yeah,
that's a wild turn of events right here, Baker. That's
And that's something. Let me tell you that.
kind of speechless on that one. That is one of Dawson Wise's teammates as well.
Oh man. Oh yeah. So he knew.
Quite
Alan
well.
Aaron,
Well, maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't know.
Maybe he didn't.
We got to give him the benefit on that one. But
went on to the stream and listened to old Kenny Real say it to Jared Haynes that Veleke Ray is driving for him tonight. So ain't that something?
oh, wow, that's surely an event that has taken place right here. I'm speechless on that one, but
I'm gonna let you take the booth for a little bit. I go talk to Mike real quick.
yeah, sounds good. Baker's gonna obviously have to go do something about that, because that is a wild turn of events right here. That is something that is strictly not allowed just in iRacing in general, especially in money racing when it comes to that. If that truly is the case, who knows? Kenny might have been just joking around or something on a stream. Hopefully that is not the case, but if that is, that is certainly something. My apologies, I'm kind of left speechless on that, but we'll go ahead and focus it back at the front of the field. Austin Green and Stephen Miles will be leading the 2 rows right here, going to be taking lap 15. 2 cautions down. I think we had 7 or 8 last week. I hope we don't eclipse that mark. Last week still ran relatively clean for what you'd expect for a next-gen race, but we've already got 2 down. Hopefully we don't need any more. Austin Green with a push from Wyatt Gray, another early jump right there. He's going to easily clear. Stephen Miles hop up to the top lane going into 1 right here.
Up to the top lane, Steve Miles going to give the push to Austin Green. Flanagan behind, and like that Pete scheme. Flanagan, oh, Wyatt Gray, big move up to the top side. We keep getting nervous with Wyatt Gray making these moves, but he's making them plenty of time. He just moves that you don't see much from the lower series, but he's definitely not a lower tier driver. He's 4th in line there on the top of that bottom side. It'll get some momentum going. It rolls really early in the run, and we'll see how it does here.
Yeah, it does. Usually you kind of want to be on that bottom lane if you're one of the first 2 cars leading it, but then it kind of dies out. Look at Evan Carlbon with a push from Casey Sprinkle, trying to take the lead right here. They are locked together. What a great connection. Carlbon's going to have a chance to easily clear the middle. Doesn't look like he's going to clear the top, though. Freddie Basna is pushing Casey Sprinkle. 3-car tandem down to the bottom in the tri-oval. Carlbon's going to get a look right here at clearing up, and he needs to take it if he gets it. But he's just barely not clear across the line going into 1.
Middle of the line starting to fall back. Oh, Austin Green gets pushed out of shape by Flanagan with Weiss behind and Brock Westmoreland pushing in that middle lane. 4 cars deep. Top side really rolling. Bottom side all out of sorts with Evan Carbone. It's going to really stack here on the bottom. About 10 cars deep. Oh, man. Back up to the middle. This racing's really good, though. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Flanagan, he's going to take the outside of Austin Green when he gets pushed clear. Evan Carbone going to get the back bumper. 3 wide out of 4 here.
Yeah, and all this jostling on the bottom 2 lanes. I mean, look what's going on right here. So much just bouncing around, bobbing and weaving. It's just allowing the outside to just roll away. Stephen Miles, Wyatt Gray, and Sean Corbett easily clear. Josh McCullough might have a shot too, but now it's Dave Flanagan and Dawson Wise, the Jack Shack teammates, down on the bottom. Sean Corbett wants to look at the lead. He's going to drop in front of Flanagan. Might have been a little early since Flanagan isn't there, but it's going to be a big shot to the back bumper of Sean Corbett by Dave Flanagan right there. This might work, just barely work out for Sean Corbett if he wants to clear up, but it looks like he's just going to trust that bottom lane again. Look at both of them. That was a great push from Flanagan to Corbett in that 45 car. What a run for Sean Corbett so far out here leading laps. Great to see that for him, someone consistent in points. And he's going out here and he's showing them he's got what it takes too. His car getting lapped right here. That looks like Ron Morris Jr. Yes. Sean Corbett so easily clear right now, but he is just not taking the top line. I personally am pretty confused on why he's not taking it, but that lines up the two Jack Shack teammates of Flanagan. Oh, Tyler Vickery, what a save in the back. Wow, what a save by Tyler Vickery in the 124 Dude Wipes car. That looked crazy, but look, Stephen Miles is getting left out by Josh McCullough, and they're all going with him. Brock Westmoreland, Benazzi Major, Wyatt Gray, all going with him. Brock's getting him real sideways. There's the move from the Jack Shack duo right there around Sean Corbett. Big momentum and lots still going on at the front of this one.
Top side's starting to form up a little more, though, but, oh, they're starting to wreck towards the middle of the pack. Caution going to come out.
Yellow flag once again. This is David Sheets in the wall. Looks like Justin Hewlings. There's Quentin Steinbach missing it. Joey Galati missing it as well. Edward Fiedler. Tyler Morgan. Okay, let's go ahead. Look back and see what caused this one. This wreck is already in the process of occurring in this one. All right. Yeah, definitely the back of the pack. So this is Ron Morris, who just went a lap down, most likely in a lucky dog position. Hopefully he doesn't get involved in this one right there in the 76. But this is Hewlings in the 7, Morgan in the 66. We see Cole Fitzpatrick in the 14 as well. Justin Hewlings just comes up the racetrack right into Tyler Morgan. And Quentin Steinbach, it looks like he's going to get involved. David Sheets nowhere to go. Big hit right there from the 06 to the 66. Yeah, that's a bit of an iffy one. I'm not entirely sure what Justin Hewlings was trying to do right there. Maybe he thought he was clear and was just trying to get up in front of Tyler Morgan, but that was definitely an odd look for sure. We'll take it back one more time. Right there for Justin Hewlings. That's kind of a strange one. Strange one to look at right there. But yeah, just right up the racetrack. Kills the 66. You hate to see that. Just the wrecking in the back of the pack, when it's really not necessary. If you're in the back, you're trying to obviously move forward and get up there if you can, but you're not going to achieve that by wrecking. That is absolutely sure. We'll take a look at the wall cam in turn 3 and 4. There's the rest of the pack going by. This wreck's already happened. Hewlings riding the wall, Sheets in the wall. Sheets is probably going to be okay in this one. It looks like he just had a little bit of nose damage. James Waring in that Miami U car just barely missing Tyler Morgan in 66, but it looks like Tyler Morgan's race will be done. Look at the right front wheel on the 66 car right there. That is unfortunate. Let's go ahead and go on board with Justin Hewlings here. See what his movements were inside of the car. Doesn't have the run on Ron Morris. He just drives up the racetrack. He wasn't turning right, that's for sure. It's not like he turned right into Tyler Morgan. It just kind of drifted up right into the 66. There he is up against the wall. Everyone's having to miss him. Yeah, strange look right there, Baker.
Yeah, strangely could look indeed, but almost to halfway. Racing's been great up front. I've enjoyed the racing so far. Just a little shook up by the whole racing on someone else's account thing. So apologies if I'm a little spaced out. Still trying to deal with that as well, but we'll get it all sorted out.
Yeah, that's still kind of going through my head. That's a yeah. Well, I just nothing else to say for it. So, yeah, so 3 cautions down. Last week, you put up a bounty, like you've done during a lot of races that we do, if you are the RC, of $50, $100, whatever it is. if the rest of the race could go green. And then you said you'd put your mortgage on us not going green. So how are you feeling so far? We're going to be, 29 laps to go here? I think I know the answer to this question.
I think if we could get to a pit stop, we're looking at how many laps to tank here? Probably about 19 laps to tank, 18 laps. You still have to pit one more time. I think if they could sort it out for the next 18 laps, we could go green the entire way. That's asking a whole lot from the entire field. You can ask 10 or 15 of these cars to go green the rest of the way here, but it's tough with now 42 cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big field anyway, and wrecks, it's super speedway racing. We know wrecks are going to happen, but there are definitely some that could be cleaned up, lack of better terminology in the broadcast booth. But yeah, you don't like seeing wrecks happen, especially ones that aren't necessary. Again, lack of a better term. Yeah, just go out here, race, try and put your best foot forward, go out there, make advances to the front of the field without trying to wreck the field in the process. But it does kind of come with the territory of this car, like we've said last week, said it already this week too. This car can be a difficult car. It's a very fun car if you know how to operate it correctly. But it can also lead to lots of problems on the racetrack, like we said, with the checkups and how insane the side drafts are and people just not being coordinated. But then again, it is racing. I mean, you see that in real life NASCAR races too. The Cup races is not everyone's going to move at the same time together. Obviously everyone has different brains. They're not all teammates, and they're not, this and that. But it's just it's a little bit of a survival car, an attrition car, war of attrition when you come into a race with these, especially with a field that we've had as packed as it is tonight. But like Baker said, we got 42 cars left on the racetrack, and Dave Flanagan and Dawson Wise are 1 and 2, Evan Carlbon and Austin Green. So we got 3 Jack Shack cars up there right now. They would have another, but Kenny Reel was disqualified. Or should I say Malik Ray, I guess. So that's quite the look. But yeah, here we are. Yeah, allegedly. So we gotta make sure we say that.
Right.
But the rest of the Jack Shack is still up here, and they are 1, 2, 4 right now. So they're doing a good job. Dawson Wise, Dave Flanagan are lead them into the restart box. A little bit of an even start right here. Austin Green trying to push Dawson Wise in the 9 on the bottom. Evan Carlbon and Brock Westmoreland and Stephen Miles giving a great push to Dave Flanagan in the 31 as they head into turn 1. Dawson Wise with a big run on the bottom. He's going to clear up. Undoubtedly a coordinated move by the Jack Shack right there to get them all lined up. But that's going to help Austin Green move up as well. And Josh, we're trying to wreck in the back, and there they go once again. Tucker McClendon, James Wagner. Not sure if the yellow's going to come out, and it will for that one. That didn't look like that many cars. Here's Ambrose Knable. He's going to get through. We saw Tucker McClendon in his baby blue 00 car. Get a look at that one. Right there. He's doesn't seem to have any major damage, so he should be okay. We'll go ahead and take a look at that one. Baker, back to our cautions question, and if you were going to put up a bounty, I think, here's our answer once again for that.
That's your answer.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take this back. So it looked like, that's Dalton Steele, excuse me. All the R&R boys, they all have very similar paint schemes. It's kind of hard to pick them out sometimes. But it is Dawson Steele in the 41 car. Take an aerial shot of this big checkup right there. Look at Tyler Vickery almost hit the brakes right there to avoid one. Then Heath Job into him, Herbert into Job. Steele nowhere to go, and McClendon just clips Dalton Steele right there. And Dalton did a good job of trying to save this car. Sure, Tucker helped him out a little bit right here. But then Mark Vondell hits Nick Sipple in the back at the bottom of your screen. And then Steele ends up hooking Tucker McClendon. There's James Wagner trying to save his car as best as he can. So he's going to keep sliding and keep sliding. Mark Vondell in the 59 is going to take evasive action and miss him. And they blink out inevitably, but we will take it back one more time. And look at this in the back, because we saw what happened right there. It's just a case of a checkup and people trying to avoid. But let's see right here. This is Vondell and Sipple. Vondell looks like, Sipple just nailed the brakes, which, I mean, good on him for seeing the checkup, but it was just so quick for Mark Vondell, not much he could do to miss it. But it looks like Sipple's going to be okay. He's going to save his car. Look at Sean Hilkowitz in the 48 down there making it through this wreck. Ambrose Knable and Ron Morris as well. Take a couple more looks at it here as we are under the yellow flag. So, like we kept mentioning, it's just another case of the checkups here, Baker.
Yeah, huge checkup on the top lane. Unfortunate for sure. Chris looks like he got spun down pit road. Freddie Basnes was on his inside. Freddie was going to stay out there, but was below, and then Freddie got spun into pit road.
Yeah, that is something we will definitely have to take a look at right here. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's go ahead and find what just happened to Michael Triscaro, who is easily the unluckiest man in money racing, especially in PGR races. Let's see what happened to old Mike this time. Last week, he missed a shift when he had a shot to win the race. 2 weeks prior to that, he barely lost to Josh McCullough. Maybe tonight's his night, you know? So just some adversity might keep driving him along, excuse me. So here we see, under the yellow flag, Michael Triscaro in the 34. He wants to pit, and yeah, he's just coming down when there's cars there, and Freddie hooks him. Pretty plain and simple right there. No damage. Everyone should be fine. Just a funny little instant, I guess, that we can look at and watch. See Cole Fitzpatrick on the bottom of the 14. He missed his box. He had to reverse back into it. Pit road's a busy place so far in this one, for sure. But here's Michael Triscaro down in 28th place right now, and I think it's about time for our weekly interview with Mr. Triscaro, what seems to be a weekly one so far. I think it's what better time than now to pull old Mike in here. Michael Triscaro, Landon, and Baker in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I do, bud.
So, quite the race so far, and especially for you. You just spun coming into pit road right here. What was going on right there?
I don't know. Head's kind of not in it right now with some other news that's kind of floating around, so kind of distracted right now. Came down to pit road, and I don't know if it was my fault or somebody apologized. I think they clipped me coming to pit road. I'll blame myself, though. I made a late call to come down and take fuel, so whatever. Head's just kind of not in it, man. I'm going to double pit here and just head to the back and kind of ride and try to save some fuel right now.
Yes, sir. Well, we definitely hope you have some better luck in this race than your season has gone so far. You are in a terrific point standing. You just have had the worst luck of anybody so far.
Baker needs to clear my flag, though. Tell him.
Oh, I got it.
All right.
There we go. Some live action race control for you on the broadcast right there. But yeah, go ahead, Mike. Go here and get you one, Mike. Especially, you know, with this news, if it is true, that we have now discovered. I think you excuse me. Wow. Just so much going on, I can't even speak. Go out here and win. You deserve one. You've earned one. And now
I'm going to try.
You're driven more than ever, if I know you at all, to go out here and win this. So good luck. Go win it in that number 34 car.
I will try, boys. Hope to talk to you later.
Yes, sir. That was Michael Triscaro. Yeah, this has been a weird one, Baker.
It's been something.
Lots of kind of stuff on the track and off the track, just kind of mind-boggling. I think all of us right now. So forgive us. We're, like Baker said, kind of lagging behind a little bit. Lots going on. Raymond Hanneman has taken the lead along with Casey Sprinkle in this race. Michael Menchaca and Freddie Basnes are in row number 2, followed by Christopher Melton, James Waring, John Darnell, Sean Corbett, Wyatt Gray, and Heath Job will be the top 10. So we've got a lot of new names up here in the top 10 as we're going to cross to the halfway lap right here, Baker.
Yeah, Baker finally getting to halfway, and Hanneman back up front. He's one of the best interviews we've had. Hasn't had the best luck, but definitely going to do good. He's got Menchaca behind him. That is a quasi-teammate that will be pushing him on the bottom. Casey Sprinkle will be leading outside line with Freddie Basnes and James Waring. Big mix-up, big shuffle up here in the top 10 cars here, so it's going to be who can get up front and who can control quick here as we come to the halfway point.
I think I'm going to throw out the name Freddie Basnes. He won last week in these cars, and here he is sitting in the second row on the outside line. Look for him to capitalize on the cars around him and the position he's in. Raymond Hanneman with a good jump on the bottom. Look at him and Michael Menchaca. Caught Casey Sprinkle sleeping a little bit right there. Menchaca's not going to be able to come up, but Hanneman will in the 85 should he choose to. Kind of a disorganized start in the top 10 right here. Only 2 cars kind of launched on the outside and on the bottom, but now everyone's going to form back together and will cause yet another checkup. This time, hopefully, there won't be a wreck associated with it. But now Sprinkle with a push from Baznez. Look at Josh McCullough in the back. He is a fiend when it comes to taking people's right rears. He just did it to Dawson Weiss. He loves taking that right rear, and that is something that you definitely need to do in this car. David Flanagan is going to go down there and save his teammate. But what Michael Menchaca's trying to take the middle on Raymond Handyman. That's going to kill the bottom line. No momentum down there. Wyatt Gray now stuck in the sucker hole in the middle. And the top side is just zigzagging all over the place. James Waring trying to get up to Baznez, try and connect and push them forward. But now the bottom has regained their momentum, and Chaka's now pushing Handyman down there on the bottom as they head into 1.
Topside Casey Sprinkle, he's going to get left out by Freddie Baznez. Last week's winner, he's very good in these cars. Warring's going to get to the back bumper. Casey Sprinkle not in time, though. Bottom side really going to roll here big time. Freddie Baznez tries to go back up. Goes up to the middle. Oh, all the way up to the top side. Blocks Casey Sprinkle. Casey, you know, he may be young, but he's been running a ton of Dega Pros, and Ward has really prepared this kid for a shot at the win here tonight.
Oh yeah, especially in the next gens. If you race any of John Ward's races, you know he knows what he's doing, especially when it comes to the next gen car. He enjoys running them, and he always runs up front of him, as he's doing right now in a 47 car field. Oh, we're gonna wreck right here as Sprinkle blinks out. Munazzi Major and Teresa Spider save. There goes James Waring down into what appeared to be John Darnell. Wow. Okay, so 2 separate incidents just happened right here. We gotta go way back and try and find this one. Yeah, John Darnell. There he is. He's going to recover. It looks like minimal damage on that number 99 for John Darnell III. Looked like James Waring just got hooked out of the top line. Nowhere for John Darnell to go in that one. Let's go ahead and take a look. So there's that initial incident in the back right there. What just looks like a checkup. Right here, Spiker in the 70 and Major getting hit by Brock Westmoreland. What a save by those two. That fantastic job by them. They're going to kind of use themselves to save each other right there. But then David Flanagan is going to left hook James Waring right here in the in the 40. James Waring usually does run the 05 car, but he's in the 40 for tonight's race, that Miami U car. Down into John Darnell, nothing anybody could really do, especially John Darnell in that one, just a victim in this accident right here. Here he is. He's going to back it into the inside wall. Some probably a good bit of damage, yeah, on that right rear, but I think he's going to get away okay from this. We'll go ahead and find James Waring as well. Yeah, he kept going. It looks like he kind of saved his car right there. If he did too, that was 3 cool saves that we had right there, Becker. That was a good bit of car control by a lot of these guys. We'll take that again.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we can nail down what really happened between Waring and Flanagan right here. So Waring's down at the bottom. Flanagan tries to square up with him. As at the same time, Waring's going up the racetrack. And Flanagan...
It's not much Flanagan can really do there. It just looks like a lot of lane changing in front of Flanagan's nose, and he tried to check up every which way he could.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't really pin that on him. It's just... A term that I know I personally hate, a lot of other people hate, is a racing deal, but I think that's kind of what you have to call on that one right there, especially in a case where there's just so much different stuff going on. Oh, here's Brock Westmoreland. It looked like he caught a bit of the wall right here. After that happened, okay, so there's a couple... Okay, so he was involved in Teresa Spiker and Munazzi Major's incident, but here's Brock Westmoreland. He's going really, really slow right here. And he's going to get sideswiped a little bit by Quentin Steinbach, and it's going to send him sideways right in front of Mark Von Dell. Nowhere for Mark to go. And Brock does a solid job of keeping it straight. He's going to slap the wall a little bit, but overall he's going to get away from this one just fine. So there we go. It's caution number 5 now, I believe, on the night. Right after the halfway lap. 22 laps to go in this race. And James Waring just crashed, and he's in the lead of the race. He's got some damage on the left front of his car, as we can see right there. But I guess he just wants the track position. doesn't care about his damage. He wants to go up here and lead this thing. That is some pretty significant damage, though, on that 40, especially if he was going to be a leader. He probably would be able to push with it, but that's just going to probably be a parachute on that left front for Waring. Yeah, there's a good look at it right there.
Looks like his right toe may be out of alignment. See, I don't know if that's maybe my camera angle. It may just be my camera angle, but it looks like his car's kind of stepped out towards the right side on the front. So we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case.
I see what you're saying now. It does kind of look that way. And if that's the case, James is going to have quite the time trying to hold on to that race car when he's getting pushed 5 cars deep on the bottom lane. As we see, that's the lane he has chosen. He's going to have Stephen Miles behind him, followed by Nick Sipple. Casey Sprinkle and Christopher Melton is going to be that bottom group of 5 right there. Stephen Miles is going to probably have to work wonders right here to get James clear and get himself clear, just considering James's damage on that number 40 car. Or Miles could just split him immediately. But look who's back up here at the front again. It is Joshua McCullough. Josh, in these races that we've had in the Lite Series so far, has done a great job. He's won a race by barely beating Michael Giscaro in the Xfinity cars. He had a look at winning last week, but got wrecked. Here he is again at the front. Josh is on a great run. Undoubtedly, if he's not already in a good points position, I know he's had some wrecks here and there, but he should be. He's already locked into the championship. But the points just prove the consistency and everything. Yes, he got wrecked last week, but it seems like he's up here leading laps every race.
Just one of the front runners that we usually have here, and had an unfortunate finish last week. Got mixed up in that last lap incident with Austin Green, and but Asher Little, which is a name we are missing tonight. Asher Little, it's going to hurt him in the points. He's going to have to go for a win next week. But Michael Triscaro, he's going to be third in line on the top, going to try and shake off what's going on outside of the money racing scene to get up here and try and go for a race win. He's got Freddie Basnez behind him. He's already locked in with the win, so he's going to be ultra aggressive, but I know he'll give a good push to Triscaro.
You know, I'm glad you made mention of Asher Little. There's someone else from last week's race that had a shot at winning, but was just one straightaway short, was Axel Smith in the 97. He's not here tonight either. So that was 2 underdogs that had a legitimate chance to win last week's race that are out here. But now we have James Waring. Maybe he wants to be the underdog that wants to go up here and win him a race. Nick Sipple, Casey Sprinkle, those group of guys. Shout out to them. Hopefully they can get a good finish. But James Waring's going to launch right here, and he's going to get a good jump. He can probably easily go up to the top here. The problem with him is they're going to know he has damage, and they're not going to want to follow him because of that damage. Miles didn't have a chance to clear up in front of Josh McCullough. He does now. We'll see if he wants to, but he's giving a great push to James Waring. Look at that coming out of 2.
Yeah, it's the old skew from the old car tomorrow. It's probably why he's a little bit faster. Gets a little more side force on it, but it's going to really show in the handling. You see him all out of shape here. There goes Stephen Miles up to the top side. Big push on the outside line. Huge push. Josh McCullough giving that push with victory, following behind Michael Triscaro there at 4th in line, with the bottom starting to roll yet again. James Waring doing a great job, still holding it together there.
Yeah, he is. Nick Sipple in the 75 doing an admirable job pushing him, keeping him in contention right here. Like you said, maybe that damage is helping him out. A little bit of side force, giving him a little bit of speed right here. But they've got a pretty solid connection. As I say that, Waring gets a little loose. You hate to see that, but they're doing a good job down there. But now there's about 5 or 6 cars clear. Back to Bazinez, it appears, last week's winner. But now here comes the bottom once again. They are doing all they can to get James Waring all the way back to the front. Whoa, Josh McCullough, look at him right there. A little bit of a checkup, maybe someone hitting the wall. Vickery in the back bumper of McCullough got him loose, and another good save. Whoa, there's lots going on in the back. Right here, the yellow flags that come out. Big hit. David Flanagan, Minazzi Major, we're still wrecking. Brock Westmoreland, Brian Hennings. Austin Green's just barely going to miss it right there. There's Quentin Steinbach in the 27. Oh, he's going to get nailed too. There's more crashing, it sounds like, going on back here. Yep, I think that was officially our big one. Number 1 in this one. Definitely have to take a look at that one. So I'm wondering if this was rooted in what happened at the front. We saw Josh McCullough get a little bit of contact into the wall that might have caused a checkup. And there we see already right there. There's the 22. Go ahead and find him real quick. That will be Hunter Hastings in the 22. He's already getting hooked right here. Let's back this way up right here. So, yep, sure enough. So, Josh McCullough and Vickery have their contact. They end up in the wall. McCullough has to save it. They save it, but the problem is that causes the checkup behind. Look at the run Dave Flanagan had in the 31. He's just going to hook Dalton Steele. Down into Hunter Hastings, and then Wise is going to get into Flanagan. Throw him into the wall. Steele spins down the racetrack right here. Everyone misses him. But now, okay, there it is. Net code between Hunter Hastings and Munatsi Major. Bam! Hunter Hastings gets revenge on David Flanagan, throwing him into the wall. Munatsi Major, a big hit right there. And we saw further ahead of that, Steinbach and Westmoreland already kind of getting into it, probably just trying to avoid a rejoin right there as we see. Here's the rest of the wreck. Look at Westmoreland. Barely avoid getting hit by all those cars right there. And then we saw Quentin Steinbach, who looked like he's still trying to save it. So is Austin Green and Greg Spiker down there on the bottom. And he's going to get nailed by John Darnell in the 99. Right on that left front wheel. And look at Munatsi Major driving by. His race is over, unfortunately. Looks like Quentin Steinbach's might be as well. So there we go. Officially our first big one on the night. Kind of a few different things going on right there. But if we take it back again, it looked like David Flanagan just kind of missed the... He didn't miss the checkup because you saw he was trying to make a move. But he also just kind of... Yeah, okay. Steele barely came down, and then Flanagan ends up hooking him. I guess wrong place, wrong time for a lot of these guys. Cole Fitzpatrick in the 14. Good job by him missing this one. So another look at Steinbach getting hit at the end, spinning like a top. Should be a good angle right here. So the wreck's all happening. And here comes the 22. Bam! Right into David Flanagan. Going to end his race. Oh, more contact in the back with Herbert getting slammed into the wall. Caused a lot of damage on his race car as well. Just trying to avoid it. And all the cars in the back doing a good job of missing it as well. Go ahead and take it back live. There's a look at Joey Galati in the 661, but the leader of the race right now is John Darnell, who is the one that just hit Quentin Steinbach right there. And it looks like Darnell has no damage.
At all.
No damage on the 99 of John Darnell. That's kind of crazy. I mean, that killed Quentin Steinbach's race. But Darnell with no damage right there. He's going to be the new leader of this race. Okay, he's been involved in the last two cautions, none of which was his doing by any means. He got hit out of the bottom line when Waring and Flanagan had their thing, and then this one involving Flanagan and Hastings and Steele. And now he's the leader of the race, and we're going to be restarting with 15 to go. How about John Darnell? And Raymond Hanneman has found his way. He's going to be back in P2 with Menchaca 3rd, Josh McCullough 4th, Tyler Vickery 5th. And Stephen Miles in 6th, and Michael Triscaro in the 34 in 7th. How about that, Baker? Look who's found his way into the top 10. Then Casey Sprinkle, Freddie Baznez, and Nick Sipple.
And Triscaro back in to the top 10. Darnell staying out with looks like no damage. McCullough back in the top 10. Vickery doing a great job. He had that big save early on. And Steve Miles doing a great job as well.
Yeah, Stephen Miles has had a great race so far. He's been leading laps, controlling the lanes, just like he had a look at winning last week as well. We've kind of seen a new look out of Stephen Miles. Usually, I can say this as his teammate, he usually likes to be conservative. He likes to kind of ride at the back and then find his way up to the front later in the race, and he's found success doing that. But as of recent, not just in the Lite Series, but in the Intimidator Series, Stephen Miles has been up there grabbing him some podiums, grabbing him some lead laps, and just overall running at the front of these things. He had a chance at winning last week. He finished 3rd. And right now he's in P6, but he's been controlling the lanes with him and Josh McCullough and a couple other guys. He might be one to watch out for towards the end of this.
Definitely would, but I mean, Steven, he's been doing great ever since we were at Talladega, I think 2 weeks ago, in the A fixed, and he was running a bunch of those races. So I think that prepared him well for tonight, even though he really doesn't need that much more practice. He's a great super speedway racer, but I think it changed his mindset, and it helps a lot here in the PGR Lite Series.
Oh, 100%. There's Freddie Basnez down there in the 60, the Ken Block Tribute number 60 car. Trying to save him some fuel down there on the apron. I'm not sure if it's a fuel race right now, Baker. I wouldn't think so. But we did have guys stay out here, so very well could be. But anyway, it's John Darnell and Raymond Hanneman going to be leading the two lines coming into the restart box for 15 laps to go. John Darnell waits for the green flag to come out and then launches. Menchaca is trying to line up with him, but Hanneman with a good run up top.
Yeah, it's even top and bottom right now. Hanneman's going to get a push from McCullough first. They're going to start to roll. If they stay down that side draft, this bottom is really going to stack up, and you're going to see it all throughout the field, trying to shuffle back up to the top side. Josh McCullough, big push Raymond Hanneman, but he drops down to the bottom. That opens up the door for Josh McCullough to extend out, get Steven Miles to the back bumper. Casey Sprinkle going to use that experience he has, but you see Michael Triscaro, he's going to roll to the middle. So does Vickery, so does Wyatt Gray. They're going to try and get this middle line working. It's going to take a little bit more momentum than usual. They're not going to get that big run that you can usually get with Talladega. They're going to have to build their own momentum here. Michael Triscaro giving a great push to Tyler Vickery. He's just going to have to hold it steady. Freddie Basnez up in front of Vickery. That's someone that Triscaro is okay with seeing, as long as he's got Wyatt Gray in his mirror and Freddie Basnez out his windshield. He's good for points right now because he had a bad week last week after that spin. He's looking for either a good points day or a win.
That is what he's looking for, but that's also an extremely solid group of 5 cars trying to work the middle lane right here. Basnez, Vickery, Triscaro, Gray, and Green trying their best, but Wyatt Gray wants to go to the bottom. That move to all of them moving to the middle right. Oh, contact! Tucker McClendon gets hooked. They might get by saving this. No, they're not. I reckon further out back. Austin Green got hooked again. There is Austin Green spinning. Herbert barely going to tap him right there. He's going to come to a full stop. Looked like someone got hooked out of the top lane again on this one at first glance, but looks like kind of a little bit of damage to Austin Green, maybe a little bit of left front toe damage. Definitely that rear end for Green is going to be a little bit messed up, but Austin is one of the guys that is already locked in to the race. He won the first race of the season in this series, so he's locked in, but you still want to get into the top 5, get yourself into the cash spots and everything. But ever since he won that race, he has had a very big run of bad luck in every race he's run. But there's Austin Green. We're going to go ahead and take a look at what caused this one.
Cleaned out at the end. Oh my goodness.
Baker saying he gets cleaned out right here. Well, here's the top view. There's a checkup up top. McClendon in the back of Steele. He's going to get hooked down into Green in the 44. It's going to slap McClendon back into the wall right there, but they keep it going. See Connor Cunningham in the 17. He's going to have a little bit of damage as well. But there it is. Contact between Sean Corbin and Greg Spiker. Bam! Right into Austin Green from Greg Spiker, and that saved Greg Spiker's car, but definitely not Austin Green's. He was easily the victim in all of this right here. So he's spinning around right here. It doesn't look like anyone else was involved in this crash, so it was a relatively small accident we've just had. Just a very tough bit of luck for Austin Green.
Yeah, it's that stretch here. After getting that race win, luckily he got that race win, doesn't have to worry about it. But, coming to 12 laps to go here, make it 11 laps to go, and we take the green flag. It's going to be a barn burner again.
Yep, for sure. Another look at Austin Green spinning. Just not much more to look at right here. Just another case of a checkup and people not yielding to the checkup, basically. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get one more look at this. Let's look at the little scare that Austin Green had from his cockpit right here, because he gets cleaned out not once but twice in this wreck. This is on board with Austin Green. Hit number 1 is going to come right here. There he goes. Saves it. Good on him. And then, bam. Definitely not expecting that one. Just a simple 360, and he's going to keep going in this race. Look like not a lot of damage at all on his car. But just now he's going to be in the back, where the checkups are the worst of anywhere in the field. So yeah, tough luck for Austin Green again, like we said. There he is getting his damage fixed in pit lane right there. Josh McCullough is still leading the race. Steven Miles is in second with Casey Sprinkle in third, Nick Sipple fourth, and Freddie Bazinez in fifth. I say we go grab an interview real quick. You know what? Let's pull up Freddie Bazinez. Let's see what he's thinking. Last week's winner. See if he wants to go 2 in a row right here. Freddie Bazinez, Landon Baker in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I hear you guys. What's up?
So you won last week's race, and it was in these next-gen cars. The only difference was it was at Daytona, not Talladega. And this week, you don't have any damage on your car like you did last week, and you won that race last week. So what are you thinking when we restart this race with 10 laps to go from sixth position?
I think I have a really good chance here. Start on the bottom, that's not the best, but I can get it done. Hopefully, I could just get my way to the top and just defend up there.
Yeah, absolutely. The beautiful number 60 paint scheme right there for Freddie Bazinez. He's looking to go 2 in a row in the PGR Lite Series. Thanks for talking to us, Freddie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There you go. Shout out to Freddie Bazinez, like we said. If he could go 2 in a row, I know the PGR Lite Series is a new series, but that would be a first in the series, someone going back-to-back. So
It's tough to, it's tough to do in any PGR series, any money racing series. I'm looking at this race. I was really hoping we can make the next gen the race for the championship, but I just don't. I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe the Xfinity car, but we've got a good stretch of cars these next couple weeks. You got the Xfinity series at Daytona, and then we're going trucks at Atlanta. That's gonna be a good one.
Atlanta, if I can show some bias, is easily the most underrated superspeedway track that any money racing does or NASCAR does, anything. That place is so fun, and it introduces a little bit more skill because it's not just straight up full throttle the whole time. You got to save your tires there, especially when in PGR races we crank the track temp up to 230 like we used to do every time we did Atlanta races, and it made it fun. Because
the old Hot Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, Hot Atlanta. It killed the tires, but you had to be conservative with your tires. If I remember, I think Dylan Basin, in one of those races, I think it was in the Xfinity car, he accidentally took his only set of tires very early in the race, and he had to go like 100 more laps and 150 track temp, and he conserved it all the way to a cash spot. I hope I'm remembering that correctly, but that's the kind of talent it takes to go out at a race like that. It's going to be interesting to see how this group of guys approaches Atlanta, those that don't necessarily have experience at Atlanta, to that level of the tire saving and everything like that. It's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. Back up front, Joshua McCullough and Steven Miles. Very familiar look in this race. 1 and 2 going to be leading the race again. 10 laps to go, the final 10 laps in race number 5 of the PGR Lite Series. Josh McCullough chose the top line right here. He's going to trust Nick Sipple to give him a good jump right here. We're going to go ahead and see what kind of jump they do get. Josh McCullough launches, and so does Steven Miles. Looks like he's going to get a little bit of a good push, but Casey Sprinkle behind Miles didn't get one. That's really going to hurt Steven down there on the bottom.
Yeah, going to hurt Steven down the bottom, but shorter way around is going to help them out towards 1 and 2. Steven Miles bumper from being clear. He is clear to the top if he wants it from Josh McCullough. Oh man, he gets a little bit side drafted back. McCullough going to extend all the way up to the top. He's got Simple behind him with Christopher Melton, Michael Toscaro leading the top. Toscaro trying to get around, gets blocked up to the wall. Going to really stall up that top line, and you're going to watch the bottom. Oh, huge.
Oh, wow, look in the back. Did someone clear the catch fence? Oh, there's someone upside down. Here's Austin Green involved again. Good Lord. We heard Baker make the call, and we couldn't see it. Look at James Waring. His car is killed. And when the camera cut, someone looked like they were about to clear the catch fence in turn 2. That looked enormous. Gotta take a look at this real quick. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a guess and say it was James Waring that almost cleared the fence. But let's back this up and not spoil it for anybody. and see what initiated this one. There's Waring trying to get a push from Ron Morris. Ron Morris is going to just turn him. Right hook's Waring right in front of James Wagner in 30 and then Austin Green, and Waring just gets launched up into the wall. And then here comes Jonathan Herbert. Big hit right there into Waring, and he's all the way in the catchments, riding the wall. That's definitely a different sort of Hail Melon, not the one you really want to see. But he's going to come back down off the wall, and his race will definitely be over. Tough break for James. He was up there leading some laps with a damaged car, and then all of a sudden he just gets hooked at the end of the backstretch. Go to this look real quick. Take a look at Waring. Let's zoom this all the way in and take a look at Waring. When he gets hooked, bam. So he's already airborne right here with a combo hit from Wagner and Green. So he's already on his side. And then here's going to come Jonathan Herbert, who blinked out prior to this, and he's going to launch him into the wall. Look at him just riding the wall right there. And the car is going to sit back down onto the racetrack and spin completely out. I think that is going to be the end of the race. Obviously, for James Waring, probably Austin Green and James Wagner as well. Let's go one more time. I'm trying to find every cool camera shot that we can get of this one, because this was a wild crash. Probably one of the more wild ones we've ever seen in the Lite Series. So this will be real time. Look at James Waring. Almost takes the camera out in turn 3, and then at that point he sits back down. Let's go on board with James Waring in this one. I'm sure he just had quite the roller coaster of a ride. Just nothing he could do. He definitely wasn't expecting to get hit right hooked on the straightaway like that. You hate to see that for James Waring. And here he is. Race going to be over, along with Austin Green. Whose terrible streak of luck just continues in the Lite Series.
Hit a hood on his windshield there. He made it all the way around to pit road, so I'd say it was good on him to make it all the way to his pit stall without hitting anyone.
That is impressive. That's kind of a not a rare bit of damage to get, but I don't think I've had that happen to me once. And I remember not being best pleased.
In the next gen.
Yeah, no, you're not happy when it happens because you're blind. You can't see anything. All you can see is out, whatever is somewhat exposed out the windshield and the windows. But good on Austin for making it back to the pits, but I think it's all probably not going to mean much considering how much damage he had to have gotten out of that wreck. And he's going to be at the back of the field when the race restarts with 6 laps to go now. Caution number 8 in this race. I think we're probably going to end up passing last week's mark on cautions. The field takes 7 to go now. 1 to go until the green flag's back out. Stephen Miles and Casey Sprinkles found his way to second place this time. He's going to be leading the outside, along with Freddie Baznez, who's found his way up to the podium spots. Tyler Vickery, Josh McCullough, Heath Job. Shout out to Heath Job. Good run for him in the next gen. He had a good run last week as well, and then he ended up getting wrecked, sadly, but it was a great run so far in this one for Heath. Dalton Steele, who's been involved in lots of wrecks tonight, is up to 7th. Nick Sipple still with a consistent run in 8th. Michael Triscaro 9th, and Christopher Melton in 10th. This is going to be a wild one, Baker. Get ready.
Yeah, it's going to be 6 to go here as we come to the line and take the green flag. Hopefully we get a couple laps in, we get some shuffling up front. It's been about track position here. It's usually not about track position here in the next gen. It's about how long you can hold on to it. But Casey Sprinkle doing a great job right now. Really shocking everyone. Keeping it up front here. And he's going to have Vickery behind him also doing great.
Yeah, what great run for Tyler Vickery. He had a good run last week as well and got wrecked just similarly to Heath Job. But how about Vickery? He's someone that he took a little bit of a hiatus from money racing, and here he is. He's back. Hasn't had luck go his way so far, And I really hope I'm not doing the classic announcer jinx on him, because he's in the same spot Mike Triscaro was in last week when we started talking about him, and Mike ended up missing a shift and his race was over. So let's not have that happen to Tyler Vickery. Let's have him get a good clean run to the finish right here. Either way, it's going to be Steven Miles for Nightmare Esports and Casey Sprinkle, I'll just say, for John Ward, even though he's not on his team. Casey Sprinkle always runs Ward's races, and he's out here doing them proud. The Dega Pros community, good for him. But here they come into the restart box for 6 laps to go. Steven Miles, Casey Sprinkle, Miles with the big jump on the outside. Look at Bazinez all the way in his bumper, trying to get him to move forward, but Bazinez just doesn't have the help behind him, and that's going to help Sprinkle and Vickery get together and side draft them going into 1.
Bottom side starting to roll, side draft coming, though, from Casey Sprinkle. Big push on the outside from Tyler Vickery. Oh, Dawson Weiss barely clear off the nose. Oh!
That was close. Vickery tried to clear himself off McCullough's bumper, but he's just going to have to take the middle with a push from Dalton Steele and Michael Triscaro. Tyler Vickery, now the leader of the outside line. Michael Triscaro's going to get clear. There's going to be a big stack on the top. There goes Joshua McCullough in the back. They saved it. How did they save that? Josh got hooked, and they ended up saving it. We'll take it back up front. Tyler Vickery and Steven Miles. Now Vickery's going to go up, and he's going to leave Dalton Steele out to dry. Mike Triscaro goes with Vickery. They're working together in this one. How about Evan Carlbon, who's found his way back into this one? Nick Simple's going to clear in front of Carlbon. Look at this breakaway on the bottom of the racetrack for Miles, Bazinez, Job, Melton, Blanchard, and Darnell, who has found his way back. How is this possible? John Darnell's back in the top 10. He's going to have a look at probably getting a big push from Vickery. Lots of contact going on in the back. So much. Triscaro's hanging out to dry. Carlbon's going to door Triscaro. Take it over, Baker.
I mean, Triscaro hung himself out, went to the middle. I don't know why. Should have stayed to the top side to get that run back, because now Vickery is able to make his way back up to the front. That kind of kills Triscaro's shot unless he can get someone to his back bumper. Top side really dominating now. This is what you see out of the official races. One car going to pull all the way to the bottom. Not going to get the side draft that he wants. Everyone is snaked all over the place. Dawson Weiss going to get the back bumper of Triscaro to try and make their way go to the front, but topside being led by Steven Miles. Freddie Bazinez, he's in the catbird seat here, but that middle line's starting to roll. Who's that pushing? That looks like is that Mark Von Dell pushing them?
Michael Menchaca.
No. Michael Menchaca pushing in the...
Oh, look at Steele. And Menchaca's going to come up and door him, and they're going to save it. Carlbon's now hung in the middle. There's just no organization going on right now. They all want to go to the front, but they just can't figure it out. They're trying to work on it. How about Connor Cunningham up to the top 10? That 17 Jeff Gordon car. Everything is single file through the front 9 spots. Now Dawson Wise goes to the bottom, but there's nobody there. Casey Sprinkle wants to make a move, and he regrets it. There we go. Big wreck in the back. Someone's on 2 wheels. Look like Teresa Spiker, the yellow flag, number 9. Sean Hilkowitz taken out again in a Lite Series race in the 48. Hate to see that. Look at Brock Westmoreland. Well, hey, we made it like 3 laps. And, I mean, that was wild. That was completely wild, Baker. Wow.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Rick's going to start with Michael Triscaro. Looks like he gets into the 17.
Yeah, we see Triscaro right there in the back. It looked like he might have gotten into the 07, I want to say. We can take this to an aerial shot. Here we go. So Michael Triscaro just comes down and hooks the 07. That 07, I believe. Dijon Monte, another new name. You're going to have to help us out with that pronunciation too. John Darnell, who looked like... What a wild roller coaster of a race Darnell has had. He's going to be involved in this one. So is Michael Menchaca. Cole Fitzpatrick, as we've got an eye on him right here, going to be involved as well.
We're going to have to speak close on fuel, and we are close on time. Time as well. We got 10 minutes left in the session. Hopefully we can make it through here.
That's never a good sign when a race ends up approaching its allotted time. Like we said, we've got 10 minutes to finish this one. We definitely hope we can do it. Let's take a few more looks.
Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah, we should. Unless they all start trying to be heroes again and try and cause even more wrecks, but we're going to be in an overtime here, and we've only got 3 of those as it is. Here's another look, real time between Toscaro just hooking the 07, and then Darnell's going to get hooked by Hilquist. Look at Teresa Spiker. Big hit for her. Up on 2 wheels for Spiker. Another look at her. Look at this. Bam! 2 wheels, and then gets T-boned by Menchaca. Back up the track. That's going to most likely end her race. Probably Menchaca's as well. That looked like a big hit for him. Everyone else might get away from this one okay. But it was bound to happen at some point with the racing that was going on. Not up front, but in the middle and in the back. Everyone just trying to get themselves organized, try and make a move. Just not everyone wanting to work with everybody. It's a weird kind of thing. It's just something that happens. Again, with these cars, you kind of got to work with someone to go forward, but look, that was just looked like nobody really wanted to. We'll take it up front. And so Miles, Bazinez, Job, Melton, Sipple. So these guys were all single file. Before the yellow flag came out, they had a little bit of a breakaway, like 9-10 cars deep, all the way down to Carl Bond in 10th. So now we're going to have to try for overtime number 1. We are 9 cautions in.
That's a lot. Only about 5 green flag laps per caution. Pretty, not great tonight, I'll be honest, across the board. So, try to give the light guys a chance to get used to these cars, run them, but, he giveth and he taketh away. Looks like we're going to go back to the Xfinity car next week.
Yes, we are, but the next gens are fun. Absolutely, they are fun. And you have to learn somehow, I mean, there's a lot of guys in this field, they're not new. There are some new guys, and that's kind of what the point of the series is to bring more talent into the PGR races and things of that nature. But these guys aren't new, it's just maybe they don't have the experience either at the front of the field. Now, I'm not counting people like Steven Miles and Freddie Bazinez, Josh McCullough, there's lots of names. They do know what they're doing. But then again, they're trying to race in a super speedway race in the next gens, where it's kind of every man for himself, and it's just a survival race. Every time we run these things, you have to survive and you have to be there at the end. And even then, even if you are there, it's just a matter of if you take the momentum and if you take every opportunity you can to move forward and try to work with the guy next to you, in front of you, behind you, just figuring something out. But yeah, the top 10 is still the same. We'll go through it one more time for you before we go green. Miles, Bazinez, Job, Melton, Vickery, Sipple, McCullough, Sprinkle, Carlbine, Cunningham is the top 10. All the way, well, you know what, we'll talk about the top 20 too, because I'm sure they have a chance. You always do in a next-gen race. You can come from back to front very quickly. The rest of it will be Steele, Hanneman, Wise, Gray, Morris, Blanchard, Corbett, Vondell, Fiedler, and Greg Spiker. That rounds out the top 20. And there's still a few more cars that are still in contention in this thing. Lots of damaged cars, though, in this one, too. Looks like we're down to 33 cars on the racetrack. Maybe a few more than that. But damaged cars, and then the ones on the lead lap. We got 32 on the lead lap, but lots of them are damaged. So they're going to need a miracle if they want to either cash, win, something. And it can definitely happen.
And a car that is impressing me here towards the end. He's been here every single week towards the front at the end of these races. It's Heath Job. Will this be his day to come through and get that win? Freddie Bazinez is going to have a lot to say about it. So is Steven Miles trying to get his first win. Nick Simple, Tyler Vickery, Casey Sprinkle, Josh McCullough all in the fight in the top 8 here.
Yeah, Heath Job is going to be the lead pusher on the bottom. He's going to be Steven Miles' best friend right here to try and get him clear. We'll see if he'll be able to do it. Into the restart box for overtime number 1 in the PGR Lite Series. Miles doesn't even need the push because he jumps everybody so far. He's going to easily clear up in front of Bazinez right there. That's going to leave Heath Job and Nick Sipple, the leaders, on the bottom. This looks just like last week, minus Kenny Reel, because it was Miles and Bazinez there at the end as well. And here they are leading 1-2 again. Melton, Vickery, McCullough, they are stacking up on the bottom. Carl Bond's going to get hooked. Big hit for Evan Carl Bond. Sean Corbett. Oh, we're still right. Heath Job gets hooked. At the front, 2 separate wrecks. We're still wrecking. McCullough, Steele, Von Dell. We will go to overtime number 2. Looks like Tyler Vickery is unfortunately involved again. 10th caution on the night. And there were 2 separate incidents that went on here. We saw Carl Bond try to make a move to the middle, it appeared. We're going to have to go way back for this one and take it up to Evan Carlbon, who his race is going to be over now as well. That was a big hit for Evan Carlbon. We'll see what happens. They went to the middle, and Carlbon tried to block. He wasn't really there. Dalton Steele in the 41 is going to hook him. Big hit into the wall for Carlbon. Hanneman in the 85, barely going to miss him. Then Corbett and Blanchard have contact at the bottom. That's going to send Corbett up into the wall. A big hit for him. Now we take it up front. Heath Job's already getting hooked right here. And he's going to just slam right into the 124 at Vickery. We got to back it up. Take it into a slow-mo. Looks like Nick Sipple right here is just going to be so far offset him. He's just going to hook him. A little bit of net code involved in there as well. You saw him go through his bumper, but at the end of the day, he was still very far offset of Heath, and that's going to spin Heath out, send him into Vickery. McCullough's going to get hit, and then the whole stack up begins back here. There's Steele getting hooked by Ron Morris in the back as well. Here's Dalton Steele. He's going to spin. Then McCullough bounces off a Hanneman on the left side of your screen. Mark Vondell's going to have nowhere to go, and he's going to T-bone Dalton Steele. And not so much a T-bone, but still going to hit him. A little bit of damage from Mark. Justin Healing's in the 7. Good job by him missing this one. Shout out to him for that one. Look at Greg Spiker making it through as well. Austin Green's he's got a decent looking race car. He might still have a chance at this one. He missed that wreck there as well. We'll take it back again. Just a lot of different things going on here. All out of desperation. Trying to get forward and have a chance at winning this race. That right there is a wreck that I would hate to be in Matthew Baker's shoes, because he, being the race control, I mean, there's 2 separate things right there, so who's getting the caution, or who's getting the blame, this and that. Not sure what his call is going to be right here. Seems he's still doing race control duties right now. We'll back it up again. We need to take another look at Sean Corbett in the back, because he got hit again after this. Yeah, him and Vondell get together. Yeah, Green. So never mind. Austin Green did hit Corbett right there. So did Cole Fitzpatrick. Sean Corbett, that left rear wheel is going nowhere. His race will be done as well. That took out a lot of names right there, Baker.
It did. It's going to be our final green light check. I know it's 2 out of 3, but we don't have enough time in the session here, so everyone's gonna go through it easy. I tried to make that our last green light checkered, but just the wrecking up front really messed it up. So we're gonna take this 1 to go here. We are 1 to go now, coming into 3 and 4, and this will be our last restart.
Yep, we are going to finish it right here and right now. The final overtime, as Baker just said. Sadly, running out of time in the session. It's still Miles and Bazinez up front now. They are going to be 1-2, followed by Chris Melton. Good run for him, and Nick Sipple. Casey Sprinkle, Josh McCullough, Raymond Hanneman, Connor Cunningham, Ron Morris, who went a lap down early in the race, found his way back in the top 10. Dawson Wise in the 9 for the Jack Shack rounds out the top 10. The pace car is off for the final attempt at overtime. In this race, race number 5 of the PGR Lite Series, Stephen Miles, can he finally get him a win in the Lite Series? He's been so close so many times. Can Freddie Bazinez go back-to-back? Or is someone else in this field going to etch their name into the stat sheet as a winner in the Lite Series? Stephen Miles with a big jump once again. Easily going to clear Bazinez. He's got the timings down on that perfectly. Clears Bazinez. Lots of people going up, and that bottom's going to die. Melton and Sprinkle, no help down there, but Cunningham's coming to the aid. Looks like on the bottom, yeah, but Dawson Wise wants to go middle. He's trying to split middle. Look at the push on the bottom. Christopher Melton and Casey Sprinkle are going places, and it's only the 3 of them, Cunningham included, that's going anywhere, Baker.
Stephen Miles going to get a black flag here. He crossed the start-finish line. He changed lanes for the start-finish line in the lead. I gave a warning earlier in the race, but he's going to get a black flag here.
We see Chris Blanchard's getting hooked in the back. He's going to spin out, but the race is still up front right here. The yellow flag will not be thrown. As Baker just said, Stephen Miles is not in contention, but is this the last lap, Baker? Or are we going one more because it says unofficial results?
Last lap right here.
Okay, last lap. We still have one more. Ignore what the scoreboard says. Freddie Baznez is technically the leader right here. Wyatt Gray gets shuffled out. He stopped. They're still racing. Wyatt Gray didn't go anywhere. Raymond Handyman gets hooked. There goes everybody. Casey Sprinkle. Miles is already out of it. What a shot for Dawson Wise, upside down and over. Freddie Baznez is still the leader. Wow, Ambrose Canelo, so much crashing. We got to wait, though. Baznez, McCullough, and Nick Sipple are still up here trying to compete. It's only the three of them. Raymond Handyman has nowhere to go. He doesn't have a run. Can Nick Sipple make something happen, or are we going to have a second winner in this race? Baznez, can he go back-to-back? Can McCullough get his second? Here we go. They're coming through the tri-oval this time by... Sipple's not going to have a shot. McCullough's still just pushing Baznez. He's going to move to the bottom. It's going to be close. It looks like Freddie Baznez goes back-to-back in the PGR Lite Series.
We're going to go back to the official standings for the lap before, though. So Freddie Baznez still going to get the win, though.
Okay.
And it's a great call, but we're going to go back to lap 10.
Wow. Okay. Lots of confusion at the end of this one. So Freddie Baznez still is the winner of the race. So good for him. He still will go back-to-back in the Lite Series, but the results you see on the scoring pylon will stand minus Stephen Miles. So Baznez is first, McCullough second, Handyman third, Nick Sipple fourth, and Chris Melton in fifth. Okay, so good run for Freddie Baznez. Forgive me, there's a lot of confusion right now. But it appears like we said, Baznez still going to win the race. Miles with the black flag will not win the race because he changed lanes before the restart. Freddie Baznez is burning the house down. Let's go ahead and go through your results, and we can take a look at this further after that. Freddie Baznez wins the race. Josh McCullough second. Raymond Handyman third. Nick Sipple fourth. And Chris Melton in fifth. Casey Sprinkle sixth. Dawson Wise seventh. Wyatt Gray eighth. Hunter Hastings ninth. Mark Vondell with a top 10 finishes 10th for McCullough Motorsports. 11th, Greg Spiker. Ron Morrison 12th. Dalton Steele 13th. Brock Westmoreland 14th. Justin Hewlings 15th. Dejan Monte 16th. Connor Cunningham 17th. Ambrose Knable in 18th. 19th place is going to be Tucker McClendon, Jonathan Herbert 20th, Michael Menchaca 21st, Edward Feeler 22nd, John Darnell 23rd, Michael Chiscaro 24th, Chris Blanchard 25th, Stephen Miles 26th, Tyler Vickery 27th, Austin Green 28th. 29th will be Heath Jobe, Evan Carlbon in 30th, Sean Corbett 31st, Cole Fitzpatrick 32nd, Sean Hilkowitz 33rd, Teresa Spiker 34th, Joey Galati 35th, James Waring 36th, James Wagner 37th, and Munatsi Major in 38th place tonight. 39th will be Dave Flanagan, Quentin Steinbach in 40th, Brian Hennings 41st, Tyler Morgan 42nd, David Sheets 43rd, Chase Mastretta 44th, Jared Haynes 45th, Jeff Scott 46th, and Kenny Reel rounds out the field in 47th. So let's go ahead and just take a look at this last lap one more time so everyone recalls the actual finish of the race here. I know that it was confusing, but we're going to go ahead and look at this. So this is the restart. We can speed this up a little bit. Miles right there changes lanes. That's going to earn him a black flag. So Miles did cross the line first, but will not win the race because of that. The wrecking starts going on in the back, I believe with Blanchard in turn 3. There just wasn't a lot of organization going on. And Miles, at this point, I don't know if he knows he has the black flag or not. He still thinks he's leading the race and is coming to win his first Lite Series race. So there's a wreck in the back. And even though Miles is going to very clearly cross the line first, Nick Sipple tried to make a move down to the bottom right there, almost got hooked by Josh McCullough. Josh just right there. Pete, that's really going to be the race right there. Josh tried to make a move, but Baznez overpowers it and he wins the race. Wow. Okay, so a lot from this race to talk about. That is for sure. In this one, we're going to go ahead and pull your top 3 in for interviews. Let's start with Raymond Hanneman, your P3 finisher here tonight. Raymond Hanneman, Landon in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Got a copy.
So, lots of confusion at the end of this one, but you come home with a P3. That's your first podium, but your second interview of the season. Congrats on that. How did you feel after this one?
I mean, I didn't get wrecked, so I'll take that. It's nice having in a good car toward the end of the race there, so you're able to push through all the incidents and keep your nose clean so you can stay up the draft. It's definitely a lot better than before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It looked like you were about to get taken out too, quite a few times. I mean, you were involved in a couple of wrecks in this race, but I think everybody was. But towards the end, you were almost taken out. You barely missed a crash, and that ended up saving you and coming home P3. What did it take to just survive out there tonight in this race?
Honestly, it's a lot of lifting. I was covering my brake more than people think. I'm pretty sure if you go back and watch my in-car, you could really see him off throttle, 95% of the time coming to the turns, just to make sure that, I'm giving that little bit of a gap in case someone gets squirrely or just if I don't trust somebody out there. I want to make sure that my nose is clean, and when I'm around people that I trust, I'm on their bumper, I'm glued because I know they're going to hold that line that I need them to hold. So honestly, it's just knowing your drivers around you and making sure that your nose is clean at the end of the night, and that's what we did here, and it worked out.
Yes, sir. That is Raymond Hanneman. Go ahead and give out your thanks and your shout-outs.
I got to thank you guys. Put on an amazing broadcast week in, week out. I got to thank the 85 team, everyone that's put in work on this car. Walter at Laughing Llama Wraps. I got to thank Eternal Racing for getting some amazing coaching sessions and whatnot, just to make sure that we're prepared for all the non-super speedway stuff when I'm in all my leagues and stuff like that. I gotta thank Menchaca. He's the one that paid for me for entry for tonight, and he's been one heck of a teammate over at Street Limit. I gotta thank the guys at Street Limit. I gotta thank all the fans, Tash, Bryce, and I gotta thank Kobe and also Garrett Maines for all the hard work we've been putting in on the 85 car this week and this year.
Yes, sir. That is Raymond Hanneman, your P3 finisher, the man from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, taking home a podium in this one. We're going to go ahead and bring up Josh McCullough next. If we can, it looks like Josh McCullough is not currently in the waiting room, so we're going to go ahead and pull up Freddie Bazinez, and we'll see if we can pull Josh in for an interview later. Freddie Bazinez, landed in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, we ended up calling it. It wasn't a jinx this time by the announcers. It actually worked. You went out there and you went back-to-back. Shout out to you and your team for coming home back-to-back in the Lite Series. How do you feel?
I'm feel happy right now, man. I don't know. Those last few laps are crazy with the time running out and all that. I was working pretty well with Steven the whole race. Well, the end really, but still. And once he got black flag, I just see if I could just push him up to the win, even though he wouldn't get it, and it'd be me, and that's what happened.
Yeah, wow. So, I like we said, I spoke to Raymond Hanneman about this. Lots of confusion towards the end of this one. Did you know that Stephen Miles... Well, first off, did you know that that was the last lap of the race? Because it didn't look like anyone else did. Y'all kept racing. And did you know that Stephen Miles wasn't actually the leader of the race? You were at that time. Did that affect your decision-making at all?
Yes. I knew Stephen Miles was black flagged. I knew he was. So, I just... Like I said, I was just going to push him to the win. And by then, I thought that was the last lap because the white flag was on in iRacing. And that's why I even ducked low. And they say, keep on racing, and I see people wrecking in the back. And here I think I'm done because Josh going to have a huge run on me. But then he just pushed me the rest of the way, and I got the win either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what a win for Freddie Bazinez. Back-to-back, not only in just the Lite Series, but in the next-gen cars as well. Definitely someone to watch out for. Go ahead and give out your thanks and your shout-outs.
Yeah, first off, thanks everybody at PBG. I run with them often. For tonight, I was running with Triscaro, running with Tyler Vickery. He was helping me out a lot really late in the race. Wyatt was in there, Chase. So shout out to all of them.
Absolutely. That is tonight's winner, Freddie Bazinez. 2 in a row for him in the Lite Series. Definitely going to be putting him in a great points position at the end of the season. We're still trying to see if we could maybe get a word with Josh McCullough. For now, we will go ahead and wait on that because he is still not in the waiting room. That said, Matthew Baker had to leave the broadcast early. He had to go sort out the issue from earlier in the race. But, wow, what a finish. What a confusing one. Just lots of wild stuff going on in this race, not only on the track but off it as well. Freddie Bazinez, congrats to him for winning tonight's race. 2 in a row for him. You can't make that as obvious enough. I mean, Baker alluded to it earlier. It is so hard to not only win 2 races, let alone a PGR series. 2 races is hard to win. 1 is hard to win. 2 in a row in money racing in general is almost impossible. And Freddie Bazinez just went out here and did that in the Lite Series. So what a fantastic night for him. And everyone else in the field. Raymond Handyman as well. Great run for him. A solid P3 tonight. Nick Sipple in 4th is a great run for him as well. Christopher Melton in 5th. Casey Sprinkle had a look at winning this thing, and he ends up 6th tonight. A great run for him as well. Dawson Wise with the comeback up to 7th. Wyatt Gray, someone who has always been a threat so far this season. This is like, he got the first 3 races of the season. He ended up on the podium. The last 2, he hasn't quite been there, but he rounded out tonight with a top 10. That's going to be good for him. How about Hunter Hastings in the 22 in 9th place as well? Another one of these underdogs. And then Mark Von Dell with a top 10 for McCullough Motorsports. You definitely like to see that. Well, Joshua McCullough has still not made his way into the waiting room, so I think we're going to go ahead and round off the broadcast right here. So for what was an interesting race number 5 in the PGR Lite Series, to say the least, we thank all of you for coming out and watching. We thank everyone for their participation, 100%. That's what really makes this series, is just the amount of cars that we have on a week-to-week basis in this series. That makes all the difference in the world. And we all love y'all coming out, being here, watching it, being a part of the Lite Series. It was something new, just a cool idea. We really weren't expecting much to begin with, and what it has turned into is something definitely great, and something I think we can all look forward to every Monday night at the beginning of our weeks. Well, I'm Landon Veleke for Matthew Baker and Michael Triscaro, all the admins of PGR eSports. Thanks again for watching. We hope y'all have a very, very good night, and tune in next week for race number 6. We're closing in at the end of the season, only an 8-race stretch in the regular season. Race number 6 next week in the PGR Lite Series next Monday. And we say it again, get yourself signed up for the PGR 500. That is coming up January 28th. You have 3 weeks to get yourself signed up to race what is going to be the biggest sim race of the year, the PGR 500. Go get yourself signed up for that one. Thanks again for watching. Tune in next week, and I hope all of you out there, y'all have a good night.